Surface cording, or the macrame technique, is one of the fabric manipulation technique that is being used long time ago to create sort of embellishment to dresses and all of that. We see this technique making a comeback after Vicky James, our celebrity designer here in Nigeria, created with this technique, making one of our traditional wedding outfits. Dressmakers and friends, if this video sounds like what you would like to see, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not done so already. This technique usually just entail making like a kind of ropes, all right, but in a way that the rope has like a structure inside it. I have my fabric here on bias. I will not be cutting on length or crosswise grain, so cut the fabric on bias just like this on this grain. So you are going to be cutting long lengths, all right, and then you are going to be having it in multiple strips, all right, depends on how much of the surface cording you need, all right. So I'm going to be folding this fabric now on bias, so I'm just marking this out just like this. Then from this line now, I am now going to be measuring out the width, all right. So it depends on what you have that's going to be like a structure inside of it. And then so you can just have 1 inch or 1 inch and 0.25 like I am having right now. So but the width is totally depending on how thick the rope that is going to be inside will be. But for this, I'm going to be sticking to this 1.25. In this next slide, I'm going to be showing you the rope that I want to have inside of it. But the first step is for you to go ahead to cut out all of those strips on bias first. Once you are done marking everything out, the next thing will be for you to now go ahead and start cutting all of those tiny strips that you have marked out. And here is what I have after I have cut everything out, all right. And then this is what we are now going to use to create the cords. How do we create the cords? Get cords like this. Usually there are various type of cords you can use. This is common here in Nigeria, you can see. The point is you just want to put it inside the rope, all right. So this is like a lintex cord which I'm holding right now. This is thicker than this one I'm holding, all right. So the thickness is what is going to influence the width of the rope that you are going to cut, okay. So for this project, I'm going to be using this one, and the way you are going to enclose this rope inside this fabric of choice that you are using is get like twice the length. You can see the length of this strip that I cut. The rope you are going to cut will be at least twice the length of the fabric, okay. So just look at it like this, twice the length of the fabric. This is like the easiest method to create this surface cording. So we want to encase this tiny white rope inside of this black fabric, okay. So this is what you are going to do. You are going to just stitch this, all right. Then here we are on the sewing machine, so just take a close look at how I'm going to stitch this, okay. I'm folding this rope into two now. The midpoint is where I'm going to place right here. This is going to be like on the right side, all right. Then I'm going to just sew it across just like this. Take a look at how I'm sewing it. Sew it across just like this first, okay. So after sewing it, then you will now sew it like beside the rope, just like I'm showing you. Sew it like that, all right. Now I'm just changing my foot to my zipper foot so it can be easy for me to sew really close to it, okay. But when you are starting, you make sure that you are not so close when you are starting, but as you move on, then you can come very close to the cord that is inside. And as you sew along, you use your hand to guide the cord to the midpoint or in between the fabric that you have it encased in, okay. So you're just going to sew like this until you have sewn to the end of the fabric, which is also going to be the end of the cord. Remember, the cord is like twice the length of the fabric you are using. So once you get to the end like this, just cut this off. Then the next thing you will do is you will trim off all of these excesses. Be careful not to cut off your rope at this point, okay. So you will trim off all of these excesses. Make sure that what you have left is like near maybe like 0.25 left, something like that, or then 1/4 centimeter. All right, so trim off all of these excesses like this. It's better to have more when you are cutting the fabric than for you to have less that you are struggling with. Okay, so at this point, all you need to do is you will be pulling the cord, the part that is covered, okay, is what you want to pull. I'm going to show you closely what I am doing now. You can see the way I am pulling. Okay, so you just pull the cord this way, then you pull the fabric, pull the cord, then you pull the fabric. When you do this, you realize that the fabric will start covering up the cord of the one that is left. Remember that you sew this on the midpoint of the cord. The rope that is inside is what I'm referring to as cord now. Okay, so once you pull, you will see that that cord is being covered up on the other side. And now you can cut off the part that is not covered. So now you have this other rope in like the fabric of that you're working with, maybe your fashion fabric or any fabric of your choice. All right, so now this rope, you look at it, is a little bit structured than another one that does not have anything inside of it. I'm going to do one for us that does not have any rope inside of it, and then you are going to see the difference between this one and that other one. I'm just going to be quickly creating that one with this right now. You can see that I do not have any rope inside of this one, so I'm just going to sew it. This way we are able to see the difference between why this is a cord and why this is still a rope. Okay, so once I am done now, I'm just going to quickly turn it inside out with a loop turner. Just as you see me doing, I'll just bring it inside out with a loop turner, just the way we usually turn any tiny rope. Okay, so just go ahead to turn it inside out, and once you have it inside out, you should have something that looks like this. You can see that this one that we just created does not have anything inside of it. Okay, and then the first one we created has a cord inside of it. Look at these two now, you will see the difference. This one is lighter and is not stable, and when you bend it, it kind of collapses. Can you see? Compared to this other one with a cord inside of it. So I'm just going to basically repeat this process for all of the ropes that I've cut out, and then putting the cord inside it. The process is just the same. Get as many cord as will be enough for the design that you are trying to create, and you can actually use this surface cording for any kind of design at all. I showed us different kind of pictures from the beginning. I hope those pictures inspire us. So here is the ropes that I'm going to be using to create like a floral kind of cording effect on a shirt. All right, so after you have cut off the excess rope, you can now bond the end just like this to secure it, and then to secure the mouth of that rope. So just bond it with your gas lighter just like this. Nothing serious, just bond it like this. And after bonding it, you can now get your dress on your dress form or your mannequin, whatever dress you are working with. In this case, I'm working with a shirt. Okay, and I'm going to be placing the rope over the area of the shirt that you are working on, just like I'm doing this right now. Okay, I have the rope. I'm just going to be placing it over the shirt in no particular manner. You are the designer, you are the one that know what you have in mind, so just follow through with the design that you have in mind. Okay, in my own case, I'm doing this on a shirt. You could be doing this on a dress, you could be doing this on a skirt, it could be a blouse. So but the process is just basically the same thing. Get your rope, then start pinning it like this, following the design that you want to create. Okay, so you can see what design I'm creating now. So just follow the flow and then design what you have in your mind. Here I am done pinning it, and this is what I have achieved right now. And the next thing I will do now is to go ahead then to start and stitching all of this rope down to this shirt. Note also that if your rope is not long enough, you may have to join, or if it's not following a particular design that you want, you may have to cut. But it's important that when you cut, you burn off to secure the end. All right, and also you can also join this way. You can see the way I want to join this now. This should be done neatly, okay? Just ensure that you are putting it like under one of the running rope. That way you can cover both joints. Can you see what I'm doing right now? So that's where you can cover both joints like this. So I'll place this on top of it, so nobody is even going to know that you join that point. So wherever it is that you want to use this cord to design, go ahead, embellish. This is a beautiful technique that you can use and can give you really beautiful and unique design. Okay, so next thing is for me to get my hand needle and then sewing thread and then start and stitching everything down. If you are working with two colors, just like in my own case here, I would advise that you use a color of thread that is matching the background fabric. Okay, you can see this shirt is actually a white shirt and I'm using a white thread, so that is what I mean. But if your cording and your fabric is the same color, then you can just use the color of the fabric. Okay, but if you are using two different color, use the color that is the background color, okay, where you are placing the cord on top. So watch closely on how I'm going to be stitching this down. Okay, so just stitch it down from one point to another point, just with running stitches. Okay, it's just that you have to do it neatly. Okay, pick some fabric beside the cord like this and then pass your needle underneath your fabric and then move on to the next. All right, this is how you are going to make use of it if you are actually working with a dress that is lined. But if you are working a dress that is not lined yet, good for you. Just like in the case of this shirt, the next method of stitching is what I'm going to show you now. So the next method of stitching is that you follow the outline that the thread or the cord is giving you below. Because this cord that I'm working with now, is the color is darker than my fabric, so I can still see a reflection of the cord underneath. But note that this technique or this method of hand stitching will not work if the dress is already lined. If the dress already has a lining before you are placing the cord on it, this technique will not work. We have to stitch it from the front beside the cord, just like I showed you earlier. And once you are done and stitching, you have your perfectly installed surface cord. So this technique is actually beautiful and it usually takes a bit of patience because hand stitching is not always easy and as fast as machine sewing. But I can assure you that this will give you a beautiful couture look anytime, any day. I believe that you have found value in this video tutorial. Please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. So at the end of my hand stitching, I just went ahead to steam this a little bit to take out any wrinkle that my hand sewing might have caused on the back of this shirt right now. And then here is the final look. Please drop me a sweet comment down below. I totally love the outcome of this surface cording effect. Let me know what you think also, and then I'll see you again in this next video.